Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, Senior Web App Kit here at Box. In this quick demo, I'm going to show you how to embed Box Hub's AI chat into a web page using the embed code that Box generates. This way, get conversational access to the content in your hubs. It's a focused interface, no navigation, no browsing UI, just Q&A grounded in your documents. Let's check it out. All right, before we get into embedding, let's look at the hub itself. This hub is a curated collection of HR and policy documents, and it's the content that Box Hub's AI chat is going to draw from. So instead of browsing through individual files, users can ask questions and get answers directly from what's here. Let's go ahead and use this example hub as a knowledge source. We'll open up this menu. We'll choose Embed. Then we'll switch over to the Hub AI Chat tab. You'll see two options. We have Chat Button, which is a Box-hosted script that renders a floating button and then opens chat on click. Then we have Chat Widget, which is a straight iframe that loads immediately. For this demo, we'll go ahead and grab the embed snippet and paste it into a simple app. All right, here in Cursor, let's do a quick code tour. This demo here is intentionally small. It's really just an HTML page, a script, and a set of styles. And honestly, the only thing you really need to understand to embed Box Hub's AI chat is really just the iframe. Everything else here is just scaffolding so that we can adjust parameters live in this demo. We'll go ahead and close the file tree, give ourselves some more space. Then towards the bottom, we have the core integration, which is this iframe. In a real app, you could paste the embed snippet from Box directly into your HTML, and you'd be 100% done. Here, we're keeping the frame in the page as a placeholder, and I actually set its source in JavaScript so that I can toggle settings during this demo. When you see things like width and height, those really just refer to the size of the embedded chat. And as for the allow attribute, it enables permissions like clipboard support, so it's a good default for modern embeds. One more thing I want to point out here is this button mount div. And for this demo, it's only used for the other embed option, which is the chat button mode. Again, for this video, I want to emphasize that the iframe widget is the main takeaway here. All right, now let's head over to our script. This comment, example iframe source, is the actual embed URL shape, which is pretty much what Box generates for you. It's really just the AI chat endpoint, plus a few query parameters. The big one here is hub ID, which scopes the chat to a specific hub. We also have shared link, which is optional depending on how access is set up. And we also have show close button, which toggles the close button inside the chat UI. So in short, the whole embedding model is iframe plus embed URL plus a couple parameters. Down below, over on line 58, we're building the URL dynamically so I can actually flip switches during the demo. Functionally, it's actually the same as just pasting the full source into the iframe. One final integration detail down here. When show close button is true, the chat can actually send a post message event to the parent page when the user clicks the X. We're actually listening for Box AI chat close and treating that as hide the iframe. In a real app, you can also collapse a panel, switch views, or do whatever makes sense for your UI. Lastly, over here in our style sheet, what we have is really just a simple layout for demo purposes. The only thing worth noting is this hidden class down over here, which is what we use to hide the iframe when the close event fires. And that's really it. The main takeaway here is that Box gives you an embed URL, and you decide where the iframe lives, how it behaves, and how big it should be. Everything else here is completely optional. So with that, let's open up the browser, see it all in action. Here we have the HTML page running in the browser. First, we can resize the embed, and that's really just changing the iframe width and height. Next, we also have show close button currently set to false. So if we set that to true, if we click on the X on the top right-hand corner, notice that the iframe disappears. And that's all because the chat iframe sends a post message event with type box AI chat close And like we saw earlier, we're just handling that in the parent page. Finally, if we switch to chat button mode, our page's preview panel goes away, and Box renders a floating button instead. It's exactly the same hub powering it, just a different embed experience. The nice part here is that you're giving your app a conversational entry point into a curated set of hub content, all without building your own retrieval pipeline. So for good measure, let's go ahead and ask a question about the content in that hub. We'll paste in this prompt. What's the end-to-end process to buy a new software tool? Budget check, procurement method, how to submit it in the ERP, and what documentation is required for compliance. We'll hit submit. Great, looks like it's done. Instead of digging through multiple manuals and policy docs, the chat pulls guidance from across the hub and organizes it into a single step-by-step answer. And at this point, if you want to dive deeper, we can always follow up and ask more about the source documents, all without leaving this page. And there we have it. You can embed Box Hub's AI chat with an iframe and configure it with a set of parameters. This gives you a simple way of adding conversational access to your Box content, all without moving files, building custom retrieval pipelines, or changing how your teams already manage content. For more on Box Embed, check out our docs. I'm Andrew, Senior Web Advocate here at Box. See you next time.